At 8:30 in the morning, an employee opened an email with 2 words in the subject line, "I love you." Minutes later, the same message began leaving that computer and appearing inside every address book it could reach. By the end of the day, email systems were collapsing across governments, banks, newsrooms, and military networks. The file looked like a love letter. It was actually one of the fastest digital epidemics in history, and it was only the beginning. These are 3 attacks that revealed an uncomfortable truth. Modern civilization runs on computers, but computers run on trust. On May 4, 2000, inboxes around the world received a message titled, "I love you." The attachment appeared to be a harmless text file called "Love Letter for You," but Windows often hid the final part of a file name. What looked like a document was actually a script. When someone opened it, the program damaged files, stole passwords, and used Microsoft Outlook to send itself to every contact in the victim's address book. That made it devastating. People were not receiving a suspicious message from a stranger. They were receiving a love letter from someone they knew. The virus exploited human trust faster than security teams could react. Organizations shut down email servers simply to stop the flood. Estimates placed the cost in the billions. Its power came from perfect packaging, curiosity, and a familiar sender. The most vulnerable part of a network was the person sitting in front of it. 17 years later, a very different message appeared. There was no love letter. There was a red warning. "Oops, your files have been encrypted." On May 12, 2017, WannaCry began spreading across the world. It did not need every victim to open a poisoned attachment. It moved from one vulnerable Windows computer to another, searching for machines missing a critical security update. Once inside, it encrypted files, demanded Bitcoin, and kept moving. But the most frightening images came from British hospitals. Doctors and nurses were locked out of computers used for appointments and patient care. Some returned to pens, paper, and telephones. More than 19,000 appointments were cancelled. A digital infection had crossed the boundary between data and physical life. The attack reached hundreds of thousands of computers across more than 150 countries. Then a security researcher noticed that the malware contacted an unregistered web address. He registered it, activating a kill switch and slowing the spread. Microsoft had already released a patch. The attack succeeded because that defense had not reached every machine. And just 6 weeks later, the world discovered something worse. On June 27th, companies in Ukraine installed what appeared to be a routine update for accounting software. Hidden inside was destructive code. It moved through networks, stole credentials, and rapidly locked computers. The screen demanded a ransom, but paying could not reliably bring the data back. This was demolition, disguised as robbery. The malware became known as NotPetya. Its initial target was Ukraine, but international companies were connected to Ukrainian offices and suppliers. The infection escaped. At global shipping company Maersk, screens went dark across offices and port terminals. Bookings and phones failed. Trucks formed lines outside terminals. Thousands of servers and tens of thousands of computers had to be rebuilt. Merck lost access to manufacturing and business systems. FedEx subsidiary TNT Express suffered a worldwide failure. Hospitals in Pennsylvania lost access to patient histories, laboratory records, radiology systems, and critical services. The United States Department of Justice said that only 3 victims in its indictment suffered nearly $1 billion in losses. Worldwide damage ran into the billions. And it began with something terrifyingly ordinary, a trusted software update. That is what connects these attacks. ILOVEYOU trusted the sender. WannaCry trusted that vulnerable machines could remain connected. NotPetya trusted the software supply chain. Email contacts, shared networks, automatic updates. The same connections that create speed also create pathways for failure. One attachment can reach millions. One unpatched machine can expose a hospital. One compromised update can cross borders before anyone understands what is happening. The defense is not one perfect antivirus program. It is layers, installed updates, isolated backups, divided networks, employees trained to question what appears familiar. These viruses revealed how much of the physical world depends on invisible software. Ports, hospitals, factories, payments, communications. The machines were connected because connection made everything faster. The viruses became powerful for exactly the same reason. The next global outbreak may begin with a love letter, a forgotten update, or something that looks completely routine. The dangerous moment is not when the warning appears, it is the moment before it, when the system still looks trustworthy. This is system beneath, the hidden technology underneath the world you see.